What's happening, Tarnished Tales crew? Get ready to dive into the absolute bleeding edge of what's breaking in the world of gaming and beyond. The news cycle is moving at warp speed, and we've got the pulse on the stories you need to know. We're talking about the industry's biggest players and the bold moves that could redefine everything. Are you ready for the unfiltered truth? Stick around, because this is Tarnished Tales, and we're going deep right now. From the very minds shaping the future of massive game development, we've got a major insider revealing why the biggest studios are playing it so safe. Is it innovation or stagnation? We're breaking down the aggressively data-driven approach that might be killing creativity in AAA gaming. You won't want to miss this. Then, we're diving into the community's wishlist for a beloved RPG, only to discover that what they're asking for has been hiding in plain sight in the developer's previous masterpiece. Talk about a mind-bending revelation. Plus, we're uncovering the surprising secret to unlocking the absolute cruelest dialogue in a critically acclaimed fantasy adventure. Get ready to embrace your inner villain. And that's just the start. We've got so much more to unpack. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join the Tarnished Tales family so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. The data-driven trap: why AAA games are playing it safe. Here's a question that's been on the minds of gamers everywhere. Why does it feel like the vast landscape of AAA game development has become a sea of sameness? Throw a rock in the current gaming market, and you're practically guaranteed to hit a Souls-like, a shooter, or a gritty third-person action title. While these genres certainly have their merits and often hide gems, the AAA space has, for many, devolved into a homogeneous blob of predictable experiences. Now, a leading voice from Larian Studios, the powerhouse behind the critically acclaimed Baldur's Gate 3, is offering a compelling, albeit somewhat disheartening, theory for this creative drought. Michael Cromwell-Dowse, the publishing director for Baldur's Gate 3, shared his insights, suggesting that a fundamental shift in how games are made has led to this risk-averse environment. He explained, much of the industry has been aggressively data-driven for so long that over generations of talent the ability, institutionally and/or intellectually, to lead with your gut has become a lost art. This perspective is particularly striking given the immense pressure and astronomical budgets associated with modern AAA game development. Budgets and development times have ballooned to what many consider unsustainable heights, often fueled by a relentless pursuit of hyperrealism that peaked some time ago. The stakes are astronomically high. A single underperforming title can lead to widespread layoffs or even the dissolution of entire development teams. However, Dowse points out a critical paradox in this data-obsessed strategy. If studios are actively avoiding risks, they are, by extension, accumulating less meaningful and less diverse data. The very practice meant to ensure success might be inadvertently paving the way for future failures by limiting the scope of innovation. This reliance on past successes and existing datasets makes it incredibly difficult to predict or create the next breakout hit. Instead, studios often find themselves chasing trends established by others, leading to a cycle of imitation rather than genuine invention. This is why, Dowse suggests, the AAA industry often finds itself perversely fascinated by indie games. Indie developers, often working with smaller budgets and fewer constraints, are forced to rely on their intuition and passion, leading to unique and groundbreaking ideas that data alone might never predict. They have the freedom to experiment, to fail fast, and to win big, unburdened by the institutional fear that grips larger studios. This stark contrast highlights a potential crisis in AAA development, where the pursuit of safety through data might be the most dangerous risk of all. This perspective has certainly resonated with players and industry observers alike, sparking widespread discussion about the future of creative expression in blockbuster gaming. Many are questioning whether this data-driven approach, while seemingly logical, is ultimately stifling the very innovation that drives the industry forward. But what if the answer to AAA's creative rut lies not in more data, but in a forgotten approach? Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover how the fascination with indie innovation is directly linked to AAA's struggle to find its own voice. Lost art of gut instinct: AAA's fascination with indie innovation. The video game industry is undeniably a financial juggernaut, generating massive profits. Yet, despite this commercial success, there's a palpable sense that the wellspring of fresh, innovative ideas and mechanics has begun to run dry. A quick glance at recent industry showcases, like Gamescom Opening Night Live 2025, often reveals a predictable lineup dominated by familiar genres and concepts, with a particular emphasis on Souls-like titles. One prominent developer from Larian Studios believes he has pinpointed the root cause of this creative stagnation. Michael Cromwell-Dowse, publishing director at Larian Studios, shared his candid observations, drawing parallels between the industry's current state and the unique appeal of independent game development. He noted that while many AAA games aspire to broad appeal, they often falter in executing a singular, compelling vision. Dowse expressed his bewilderment at this trend, stating, "Choosing something specific and doing it well seems to be a lost art in game design, and I don't know why." He further elaborated, suggesting that the industry's overwhelming reliance on data has eroded the crucial ability to trust intuition and passion. Much of the industry has been aggressively data-driven for so long that over generations of talent the ability, institutionally and/or intellectually, to lead with your gut has become a lost art, he explained. This is why AAA is becoming perversely fascinated by indie. Indie doesn't have the data, must rely on gut. This dependence on data, Dowse argues, creates a feedback loop where studios are incentivized to replicate past successes rather than venture into uncharted territory. The pursuit of ultra-realism in many AAA titles further exacerbates this issue, inflating development times and costs to astronomical levels. In contrast, smaller indie teams, unburdened by the same financial pressures and often less concerned with minute graphical details, can iterate more quickly, embracing a philosophy of fail fast, win fast. Dowse critiques the way even games that attempt to follow their gut within the AAA space are still filtered through an institutional lens of data parsing. He contends that the datasets themselves are becoming increasingly unreliable, as they struggle to predict true breakout hits or even significant failures. When data becomes untrustworthy and the innate gut instinct that defines a game's unique character is lost, studios become paralyzed by indecision and fear. This leads to a cascade effect. Genres become homogenized, and the industry waits for indie developers to create the next groundbreaking trend, which then becomes the new data set to be emulated, perpetuating the cycle. This phenomenon explains the prevalence of live service elements, crafting systems, and open-world designs in a vast array of games. The success of titles like Fortnite, Minecraft, and Grand Theft Auto has led many developers to assume these features are universally desired, rather than recognizing them as specific strengths of those particular games. By relying on the proven success of the past, the industry risks forfeiting the opportunity to create the defining successes of the future. The industry's deep dive into data might be precisely what's preventing it from discovering genuinely new and exciting gameplay experiences. Audience impact. This perspective has ignited a passionate debate among players, with many lamenting the perceived lack of originality in modern blockbusters and championing the creativity found in the indie scene. But what happens when the very tools designed to ensure success actually hinder creativity? Prepare to see how a beloved RPG's community is rediscovering a powerful feature that already existed in a previous title from the same developer. The hidden GM mode. Baldur's Gate 3 players rediscover Larian's past innovation. Baldur's Gate 3 has cemented its place in gaming history, widely regarded as one of the most faithful and engaging digital adaptations of Dungeons & Dragons ever created. Larian Studios masterfully translated the intricate rules and boundless freedom of the tabletop experience into a compelling video game, empowering players to approach challenges in myriad ways. While not every player is a seasoned D&D veteran, those familiar with the system can truly mold the game world to their will, bending its mechanics to achieve their desired outcomes. However, even in a game as expansive and flexible as Baldur's Gate 3, inherent limitations exist, preventing players from replicating every facet of a traditional tabletop RPG session. As many players have now completed multiple playthroughs, a common sentiment has emerged: a desire for a dedicated game master, GM, mode, allowing them to craft and run custom campaigns within the rich universe of Baldur's Gate 3. The potential for user-generated content, akin to the vibrant modding community that has already sprung up, is immense. Imagine the ability to design intricate quests, populate worlds with unique characters, and control the narrative flow as a true game master, all within the polished framework of Baldur's Gate 3. What many players requesting this feature may not realize is that Larian Studios has already delivered an exceptional RPG with precisely this capability in one of its previous titles. Divinity: Original Sin 2, Larian's preceding masterpiece, features a robust and highly regarded game master mode. This mode provides players with an extensive suite of tools to create, edit, and share their own adventures. It allows for the granular control of environments, the placement of characters and objects, the scripting of complex events, and the ability to act as a living, breathing dungeon master for friends. The success and depth of this mode in Divinity: Original Sin 2 demonstrate Larian's understanding of player creativity and their willingness to empower community-driven content. The revelation that such a feature already exists within Larian's own portfolio has led to a fascinating discussion among the Baldur's Gate 3 community. It highlights not only the potential for such a mode in future updates, but also serves as a reminder of the developer's pedigree and their commitment to player freedom. While the modding scene for Baldur's Gate 3 is already impressive, an official, integrated GM mode would undoubtedly unlock a new level of replayability and community engagement, allowing players to become the storytellers of their own epic sagas. The existence of this feature in Divinity: Original Sin 2 offers a compelling blueprint and a hopeful precedent for what might be possible within the world of Baldur's Gate 3, should Larian choose to revisit and expand upon these powerful tools. Audience impact: This discovery has sparked a wave of nostalgia and renewed appreciation for Divinity: Original Sin 2, with many Baldur's Gate 3 players now eager to explore its acclaimed game master mode. But if you're looking to truly embody evil, there's a specific choice you can make that unlocks the most delightfully wicked dialogue. Get ready to find out which class in Baldur's Gate 3 grants access to the cruelest conversations imaginable. Unleash your inner villain, the cruelest dialogue class in Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is a sprawling epic, brimming with an astonishing variety of character classes, intricate subclasses, diverse races, branching quests, and deeply developed characters. This sheer density of content means that players are constantly uncovering new dialogue options and narrative threads, even after hundreds of hours of gameplay. The game's commitment to player choice extends to the very words spoken by your character, allowing for a wide spectrum of personality expression, from heroic to outright villainous. For players who find themselves drawn to the darker aspects of role-playing, Baldur's Gate 3 offers ample opportunities to embrace a cruel and malevolent persona. While many players, myself included, might shy away from inflicting unnecessary suffering on the game's often pure-hearted characters, the game mechanics provide a clear pathway for those who wish to channel their inner antagonist. The question then becomes, which path offers the most deliciously wicked dialogue? According to insights shared within the community and highlighted by players like Reddit user Onhedonica, the answer leans heavily towards playing a Lolth-sworn cleric. This particular choice unlocks dialogue options that are not just mean, but comically, almost absurdly, cruel. While other evil alignments might have motivations rooted in ambition or a twisted sense of order, the Lolth-sworn cleric's dialogue is often characterized by a casual, gleeful embrace of suffering and chaos. The Queen of Spiders, Lolth, embodies a chaotic evil that delights in torment, and her followers reflect this disposition in their every word. Consider a scenario where players have the opportunity to reunite Shadowheart's parents after years of separation and torture inflicted by Viconia and Shar. While a less sinister character might offer words of comfort or solemn reflection, a Lolth-sworn cleric can deliver lines dripping with disdain and mockery, finding amusement in the very suffering they have ostensibly helped to alleviate. This casual cruelty, delivered with a flippant tone, elevates the dialogue beyond simple antagonism into a realm of dark humor. It's the kind of dialogue that makes players cackle with a mixture of shock and delight, perfectly capturing the essence of embracing a truly wicked character. This focus on dialogue as a reflection of character choice is a testament to Larian Studios' attention to detail. It allows players to fully inhabit their chosen roles, whether they aspire to be noble heroes or utterly depraved villains. For those seeking to experience the most cutting, sarcastic, and outright cruel lines the game has to offer, aligning oneself with the tenets of Lolth is the clear and most entertaining choice. It's a powerful reminder that in Baldur's Gate 3, your words can be just as impactful and often more memorable than your actions. Audience impact. This revelation has led to a surge of players experimenting with Lolth-sworn cleric builds, eager to experience the game's most cutting and darkly humorous dialogue options. So, we've explored the data-driven decisions shaping AAA games and the hidden features waiting to be rediscovered. But what if you want to wrap it all up with a quick recap of the biggest stories we've covered today? And that's a wrap on today's essential updates. We've seen how data is making AAA games play it safe, discovered a hidden GM mode in Larian's past work that fans are now requesting, and found the class that unlocks Baldur's Gate 3's cruelest dialogue. If you enjoyed this high-octane news drop, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more, hit the notification bell so you're always in the loop, and drop a comment below telling us what you think. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials for even more behind-the-scenes action. Thanks for watching Tarnished Tales.